Hello everyone, today we're talking about everything Francesca Bianchi. I wish you could see what's on my desk here. I've got 17 of her fragrances. Thank goodness they're small bottles. Don't worry, I'm going to go through them all. Now, the only way I could conceivably do this without shutting my nose for a month is to just go through them without spraying them. Because if I do that, they're just so extremely potent. Couldn't possibly smell 17 fragrances in one sitting, and this is why I've been postponing this video for so long. I'm going to describe them from memory, and of course using Fragrantica, because that's very easy for me. I don't have any order imagined beforehand. I'm just going to grab them and speak of them. Before I begin, Francesca Bianchi is something I discovered somewhere after 2020, maybe it was 2021, and I got myself a discovery set. I've spoken about them on this channel, all of them that were currently comprised on that discovery set. Since then, there have been a lot more added to her portfolio. She's quite prolific. She keeps adding at least one per year. I think maybe two per year now. She's had some limited editions as well, which I don't have all of them. This is a house I really liked from the very beginning. I think she's one of my most favorite perfumers out there. The thing about Francesca Bianchi that I really love is she kind of uses her own personal touch in all of her fragrances she creates. Just like Guerlain have the Guerlinade, Francesca Bianchi has something similar running through all of their fragrances, with one exception, and we'll talk about that. She really likes iris and leather and animalics, and her fragrances are, as she describes them, liquid emotions. As I would describe them, raw, unapologetic, sexy, and most of them quite demanding, certainly demanding your attention. Now, I don't know which one to begin with, because at the end of this, what I assume is going to be a longer than usual video, I am going to tell you my favorites, so I don't want to begin in that order necessarily, but I will begin with the first fragrance that captured my attention and the first fragrance I ever purchased from Francesca Bianchi. And if I'm going to remember the purchasing order, I think I'll be fine, but that's not realistic. In any case, the first fragrance I ever got myself from Francesca Bianchi was this, the Black Knight. By this time, I had smelled them all, the ones that were available in 2020 or 2021, and the Black Knight was my favorite at that time. Now, these things have changed, but the Black Knight is something I remember when I was smelling it and when I spoke about it. I remember citing things like Antaeus, because this is deep, harsh, leathery, almost chypre-like. There are a lot of Francesca Bianchi's scents are chypres, and they are chypres done, I want to say modern, but most of them are a twist on the classical chypre. We'll see how things go. Maybe I'll be able to give you some examples. That means most of her fragrances have at least some oak moss, if not patchouli as well, and if not some resins. Now, if I remember correctly, this smells something like, well, it's iris, it's leather, it's a resin, I don't remember which one. It's beeswax. There's a lot of honey components in this fragrance as well, because this is very sweet, but then again, the leather is on the drier side of things. This is so ample and robust as a fragrance. This will knock your socks off. I should say all of her fragrances are X-rays. And this is why at first they came only in 30 milliliter bottles, and now she also has the larger sizes, the 100 milliliter bottles, for those who want a fragrance that will last them a lifetime, because they are very, very potent. This is why I was citing Antaeus earlier. There's a bit of a rose in the middle of this fragrance, and that rose is just scrumptious, is jammy. It's not terribly present, but just like as in Antaeus, you know it's there. It's that ray of light. It's that, oh, stop citing Madonna albums. The only delicate thing in a fragrance that's rather harsh, and this makes for a very beautiful fragrance. It is very complex. It's bitter. If you want something truly unique, but then again with all the good references, because there's a lot of references from perfumery, from classic perfumery and Francesca Bianchi, you should definitely try the Black Knight. Next thing I tried, yes, I remember, it was this. It was Etruscan Water, and this is actually my second bottle. I'm going to have to spray this because this bottle hasn't been used. How it happened with most of the scents I bought from Francesca Bianchi is I still had that discovery set, and whenever I was in the mood for Francesca Bianchi, I just tried something on the skin. And with most of them, with all of them, with two exceptions, I hope I remember all of the exceptions in due time. What happens is I discovered something, you know, something in them and in myself, which inevitably led me to purchase them. Now, with this Etruscan Water, when I first smelled it, I wasn't very extremely impressed. I thought it was quite common. But when I started discovering it, truly, I understood the references, and one of the references for this fragrance is Armani Eau pour Homme, which is a beautiful scent. I don't have it. I think I'm going to purchase it one day. I keep saying that for years. It's a beautiful chypre. And also for fans of Eau Sauvage and Eau Sauvage Parfum, Etruscan Water is a beautiful chypre. This smells of, because it's called Etruscan Water, right? And we're supposed to think of the Etruscans, you know, that ancient civilization that inhabited Tuscany, I suppose. But for some reason, whenever I think of Etruscans, and ancient civilizations for that matter, I think of copper. And this smells, to me, as copper. Copper with Mediterranean steppe, so it's very herbal, and sea breeze. It's not a marine scent in actuality, but it does smell like a sea breeze, and this is gorgeous in a scent. To me, Etruscan Water, this is why I'm at my second bottle already. This is one of the freshest and most interesting and long-lasting scents that is not overpowering. It's not obnoxious. Most of Francesca Bianchi's scents are not obnoxious, at least to my nose. I know they can be if you overspray. Most of them are pleasant, again, with one exception, and I will tell you about that when the time comes. Now, the next fragrance I discovered from hers is Angel's Dust. Angel's Dust is, when I first smelled it, it came across as your typical violet powdery scent. You know, think of Insolence, maybe think of Putain de Palace. You know the deal. Now there's Guidance from Amouage, which is quite similar. It's still in that region of scents. But when my friend Sebastian Furtado sent me a decant of Guet-Apens, I really, from Guerlain, you know, the Mathilde Laurent scent, I really wanted to see if what Luca Turin said about Angel's Dust was true. So Luca Turin said about Angel's Dust that it reminded him of Guet-Apens. And I tried them side by side, and it's true. It's that same 80s big hair, bombastic type of scent. It's very unapologetic. It's very loud. But then again, it's interesting, it's sexy. Now, what this fragrance does, and this is what I like about this fragrance so much, is that it lulls you into a false sense of security with that, you know, that powderiness, the gentleness, even the soothing quality, and then it unleashes some very sexy musks that smell, you know, quite raw, quite heated, quite of the human body, quite quite naughty, and they're very, very interesting. They're very sexy, and the fragrance itself is a masterpiece. I think it's Francesca Bianchi's best work. I think it's her best fragrance to date. It might not be my personal favorite, but it's definitely, I think, one of her best crafted scents ever. One exception is the Lover's Tale. The exception being, I said, most of her fragrances, as powerful as they are, they're not obnoxious. Now this might be obnoxious, if not to you, definitely for the people around you, if you overspray. I've worn this a lot of times, but I only use this sparingly. Two spritzes, maybe 3 if I'm feeling audacious that day. How does this one smell? This is leather, endless. It's endless leather, pure, raw, animalic. There's a lot of castoreum in this, if I'm not mistaken. But then again, the leather is suede-y, it's gentle, it's iris leather, because it's still Francesca Bianchi's leather. The leather itself is quite similar to the leather in the Black Knight. The fragrances are quite similar in that regard, because the Black Knight is, you know, it's a vetiver leather sort of combination. But this one is harsher, it's more potent than the Black Knight, and it's a duet, a very interesting one. The counterpart in this fragrance is a very delicate at first, but gradually increasingly more fecal jasmine. It's a very beautiful fragrance. It's a very interesting, this duet plays an important role in my understanding of this scent. It's like you're smelling two things at the same time. You get the leather and then you get the jasmine, and they blend, you know, somehow. They intertwine, but both keep their distinct personalities at all times. So it's a play on light and shadow. It's gorgeous. I know people who wear and love this fragrance, myself included. I don't wear this enough because, as I said, can be a little bit too demanding. But if you're looking for a leather scent, you know, that's interesting and harsh, this is the one, right? It's if you're a fan of leather, do try the Lover's Tale. Now, I'm going to speak of the only special edition of hers that I own, and this is Love for Sale. Love for Sale was constructed on the architecture of the Lover's Tale, believe it or not. It's that same leather, only subdued. It's the same components, only subdued. And what's amped up is the sweetness. There's a lot of iris in this. It reminds me of Shalimar Millésime Iris from a couple of years ago. And also, it reminds me of Guerlain's Parfum Initial. The only thing about Francesca Bianchi's scents in general, she doesn't work transparent scents. Most of her scents are heavy, dense, murky, very complex. She doesn't do minimalistic, she doesn't do transparent, she doesn't do crystalline all that much. All she does, or most of what she does, because there are exceptions to this as well, most of what she does is denser and just never ending, you know, unleashed. This is a very good scent, but if you weren't able to find this one to smell it, don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. It's not groundbreaking. Love for Sale is one of her newer creations. Now, I think my next purchase was, I'm not sure. This is Sticky Fingers. This is a Patchouli Iris. It does remind me of Coromandel. I want to spray this because I love it so much. This is one of her, I think it's one of her best sellers, and for good reason. It's a very good scent. This is camphorous, fresh in that regard, balanced, very, very well balanced, but it's nothing more than a patchouli. You know, patchouli comes across as moldy, comes across as maybe the scent of mold at times. It's leafy, you know, it's earthy, but it's also got that moldy smell. And that moldy smell you can get in Coromandel as well. This is a spicier, more peppery version of Coromandel. It still keeps that sweetness, the classiness, the gentle vanilla as well, even the chocolatey smell, because patchouli does veer into chocolate at some point, especially with vanilla. The iris also helps a lot in this. It smooths the composition out. It smells of the most polished wood, just like Coromandel does. This is a gorgeous scent. For some reason, Francesca Bianchi describes this scent as goth. I don't see it. Now this is goth. This Black Knight is goth. The Lover Tale is goth. Sticky Fingers, I don't think it's goth. I don't think it's not even rock and roll all that much. I think it's just soothing, sexy, a lot of beeswax. At times it reminds me a lot of L'Instant de Guerlain pour Homme even. It's so beautiful. Sticky Fingers, very underrated by myself, because I haven't been wearing this lately. I don't know why. Maybe because I wasn't in a very patchouli mood in the last, you know, months. I don't know what to tell you. Now, I think the next one was Lost in Heaven. This was a fragrance that I spent some time trying to understand. Lost in Heaven, this needs to be spritzed as well, is a floral chypre, and it's so beautifully constructed. It's so delicate. This is, I think, one of her most soothing scents. Oh, there it is. The florals are undefined. You know, iris is involved. I think there's a bit of mimosa, not sure, but there's a play between blue florals and yellow florals on a chypre base. And the result is something fresh, minty, floral, soothing, creamy, and like candied fruits at the same time. So it's very playful, very joyful as well. I think this is one of her most underrated scents. Not a lot of people speak about Lost in Heaven. Don't know why. The color of the juice is just fantastic, isn't it? As you're wearing it, you get echoes of Angel's Dust. You get echoes of Etruscan Water. I think it's the meeting point between Angel's Dust and Etruscan Water, because it's still, you know, it's undeniably a chypre, it's undeniably fresh. But then again, those animalics, although quite subdued in Lost in Heaven, they're still present. And you can definitely tell this was done by Francesca Bianchi. This is, oh God, I really can't wait till the end of the video where I give you my podium. This is going to be interesting, because I haven't, you know, I didn't think of a podium. It'll come to me. I think by this time, yes, by this time she had launched Luxe Calme Volupté, and this is the only bottle that I have that's 100 milliliters. This is my second bottle, because I finished one already. This is one of my most favorite scents from hers. The references for Luxe Calme Volupté, well, she cites Baudelaire's poem called Luxe Calme Volupté, and there's also the painting by Matisse, which is also called Luxe Calme Volupté. So a lot of artistic references for this. This is green, this is galbanum, and iris. And when I first smelt it, I said, oh no, this is Vol-de-Nuit. This is Vol-de-Nuit in Francesca Bianchi's style, which is so gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. You have to smell, if there's anything you need to smell from Francesca Bianchi, it's Luxe Calme Volupté. That's it. It's it's perfect. It's the perfect scent. A lot of people ask about this scent not having smelled it, and they look on the notes: bitter orange, galbanum, tropical fruits, ylang, hyacinth, iris, benzoid, apoponax, vetiver, and sandalwood. The notes are correct. The pyramid she listed is correct. All of these things are here, but you never know which ones are going to play the most important part. So this is a chypre. It's done, it's perfection, but it's a chypre lacking the metallic feel of the oak moss. So it is atypical. It's a chypre because of the galbanum and the resins. I think the most important players in this one, it's the galbanum, which is lime green in terms of smell. It's like fresh cut grass and happiness. Then the melancholy of the iris, which is it's Vol de Nuit. It's Vol de Nuit. It's so beautiful. Now, of course, this is quite different from Guerlain's Vol de Nuit. As I said, Francesca Bianchi doesn't work subtle. Francesca Bianchi is a lot denser, you know, but it's a beautiful fragrance. It's a beautiful reference. Not to give the game away, but I think this will rank very high up. Yeah, it's just perfect. It's the perfect soothing scent from Francesca Bianchi, Luxe, calme, volupté. We're burning through them. I think by this time I got into Sex and the Sea, and I got myself the Neroli variant. This is the only flanker that she has to another of her fragrances, which is Sex and the Sea. The simple version is the same, it just lacks the Neroli. So I'm not going to talk about it all that much. I do have a sample of it, but it's just the same. Neroli, however, improves the scent quite a lot. This smells of a white floral sun cream. This is soothing as well. It's salty, it's definitely marine. You can tell it smells like a body heated by the sun and kissed by the salt of the water. You should definitely try this. Going through them, I'm just reminded of how special and beautiful each of them are. I haven't worn Francesca Bianchi in a few months because I was wearing a lot of Serge Lutens, but Sex and the Sea is gorgeous. And if you're a fan of Neroli, this is one of the most, I think it's one of the most beautiful uses of Neroli in a scent. She works very well with Neroli, and I think it's a good segue to talk about Libertine Neroli. Oh God, this is gorgeous. Citrusy, but then again white floral and lush. Libertine Neroli, to my nose, smells exactly like the Neroli of L'Heure Bleue. L'Heure Bleue is quite famous for its use of Neroli. It's most prominent in the opening and it's most prominent in the X-ray. It's that type of almondy, crunchy, sweetish Neroli. It is gorgeous. Now, if from L'Heure Bleue you take everything except for the musks, the tonka, and the Neroli, you've got Libertine Neroli. And, you know, just from that reference alone, you could basically tell that I love this. I think it's quite underrated as a scent. I don't hear a lot of people mentioning this, but this is just, it's beautiful. It's perfect. It's a perfect scent, Libertine Neroli. Now, a scent I don't find all that perfect is Unspoken Musk. It's not that I don't like it or I don't consider it to be a good scent. This is supposed to be a musk, and it is. It's mostly the musks that she uses, right? And most of her fragrances, so it's very familiar to me. It's also added by florals, right? So this smells a bit of magnolia. It's got that faint, a bit white floral, maybe spring floral sort of scent. It's quite similar to Luxe, calme, volupté in some regards. It's green, but it's just, you know, it's still a beautiful scent. I do like it. It's very fresh. You wear Unspoken Musk when you need to pause everything. It's a good reset. Because Unspoken Musk is something that works very well with the chemistry of your body. It enhances everything. It's quite a translucent scent. I know I said Francesca Bianchi doesn't do transparency or translucidness. Unspoken Musk is that. It's transparent. It's not overpowering. It's not overbearing. It's just barely present, and I find this to be beautiful. It's just not as addictive as other scents of hers, you know. But it's still very gorgeous, and it's still something I do enjoy wearing. And you can tell I haven't worn this quite a lot. I did wear it a couple of times, but I don't need a reset all that often. And whenever I do need a reset, there's other fragrances I go to. It's not Unspoken Musk for some reason. All right, now let's move on. The ones I have left are only newer fragrances of hers. The only old one is this, Under My Skin. But funnily enough, this is my latest purchase from hers. And this, well, all of them have dedicated videos, so whenever you need more details, you can search them across my channel. But Under My Skin is something I liked at first, but when I wore it, it was just too much. And I still believe so. I still believe this is a fragrance that's just too unleashed for my tastes. And now don't get me wrong, I love Under My Skin. It's a gorgeous scent. It's something that has so much to give, so much to offer. I think it's one of her sexiest scents. At the same time, it's one of her most challenging scents. I think it's even more challenging than The Lover's Tale. I think it's her most animalic. It's sweet, just like Angel's Dust. Lulls you into that false sense of security. It's sweet, it's nice, it's camphorous. There's a lot of balmy qualities to this fragrance. I think it's also quite well balanced at first, but all hell breaks loose when those animalics come on the skin, right? So after a few hours, this fragrance becomes sweaty and pissy, and to me at times it smells, at least in the atmosphere, it smells like a public toilet, which is not very nice indeed. But let me tell you, if you only wear one spritz, it's perfect. More than that, okay, maybe two. More than that, I think, you know, danger zone. I don't know. It's beautiful. It's one of her best work, by the way. I think Under My Skin is one of her best work, and there's so many people I know who swear by this fragrance. I mean, it's their favorite, and I don't blame them. It's gorgeous. Now, we're done with all of her, you know, older fragrances. What comes is newer launches, maybe. So let's see. I don't remember the order, but I think Byzantine Amber. That's one of the good ones. Byzantine Amber is theatrical, it's dramatic. It's Salome asking for John the Baptist's head, right? It's so spicy, ambery, reminds me of Chergui at times, reminds me of Ambre Sultan at times. It's also milky, it's got that hay quality. When you're wearing this, at some point this catches fire, and I wore it quite a lot, almost half empty. This catches fire and begins to fume. It starts burning on you. So it reminds me of the thing Interlude does, because Interlude is smoldering, it's smoking as you're wearing it as well. Then it turns into this chocolatey, beautiful, ambery goodness, but at all times it has this bite to it, and this is why I liken it to Yves Saint Laurent's M7. I think it's the same type of amber. Byzantine Amber, one of her best work. Now, Encounters. The newer ones I'm not that familiar with, except for, you know, I think I wore Encounters a lot of time. Now this, I remember liking this. Encounters is the meeting point of iris and oud. It's waxy, warm, luxurious, and very, very sexy. Funnily enough, I don't think it's her best smelling iris. I think her best smelling iris is Sticky Fingers. The Black Knight has a very beautiful iris as well. But it's definitely an interesting iris encounters. That oud is present, it's not overpowering, and this is something I love. It's a very balanced scent, this one. That oud only helps with sexiness and warmth, not much else. And a bit of an, it gives that iris a bit of an animalic quality, more so than iris does on its own. So yeah, very beautiful encounters. Voluptuous Oud. Now this one I didn't like. I did not like Voluptuous Oud. I don't know why. I think because it was so common. I haven't worn this. Yeah, I remember why I didn't like this one. It's too sweet. It smells very similar to Love for Sale in that regard. Oh, this one's a beautiful iris as well. It's got that ethyl maltol, obnoxious, very modern vibe to it. It's. I'm not going to say it's not good, but it's not my favorite. It's not worthy of her other work. I mean, her other work can be so good. But Voluptuous Oud is just... it's meh. It's not interesting. I don't like this one as much. Now, a fragrance that's rocked my world is the Mariner's Rhyme. Remember I said Francesca Bianchi doesn't do translucid or transparent? This is translucid and transparent. This is iris and marine notes. Basically ambroxane. It's iris and ambroxane. I don't know. This smells woody, dry, but salty and marine at the same time. It smells like driftwood. It smells like a ship afloat, a sail. It's gorgeous. For such a powerful scent, because this is very powerful, it doesn't choke, it doesn't annoy. It's transparent. It's like it's enveloping you in this mineral, never-ending cloak of freshness. I said that Angel's Dust is probably her best scent from an academic standpoint, but from my viewpoint, this is her best work to date. I'm not sure if I like this more than Etruscan Water. We'll see when I give you my podium. But I do love it. Mariner's Rhyme is perfect. It is my most favorite marine scent to date, and I do love marine scents. It is perfection, the Mariner's Rhyme. And her latest launch, the Code of Emotion. She changed her labels at this time. Now her labels are elongated right now, right? You can see the difference. Now all of her labels look like this, which it's fine. I don't care. The Code of Emotion was an experiment for Francesca Bianchi where she tried to keep herself from using her favorite accords, right? That means no iris, no leather, nothing animalic, right? So this smells not exactly as a Francesca Bianchi smell. All of them, with no exception, smell of Francesca Bianchi, including the Mariner's Rhyme. Because in the Mariner's Rhyme, you get echoes from Etruscan Water, you get echoes from Luxe, calme, volupté. It's there. Francesca Bianchi, very powerful presence here. But in the Code of Emotion, which is this citrusy tropical fruit, ambroxane sort of. It's beautiful. It's not my favorite, you can tell. It's very colorful. It's interesting, but it doesn't set it apart, you know, from the rest of the fragrances on the market with this. Kind of smells like Versace Eros at some point. So, I don't know if the Code of Emotion is that special. I almost forgot this was a Chypre as well, because it is a Chypre. But it's as much a Chypre as CK1 is a Chypre. which is, you know, true about CK1. CK1 is a chypre, but it's not, you know, it's not your typical chypre. It's fine. It's a beautiful scent. It's interesting enough, but I'm not in love with it as with her other work. So this was my last fragrance. The other two fragrances I don't own are right here, and they are Tyger and the Dark Side. So these are fragrances I do not have because I don't like them all that much. Tyger is fine. I might get it one day, but to me this smells just too jammy. It's apricot jam, and that's it. Now I know this fragrance changes as it becomes a more patchouli type of chypre scent. I don't like it all that much, so it's a no-go for me. And the other one is the Dark Side. Now the Dark Side should have been more interesting to my nose, as it's an amber. It's quite similar to Byzantine Amber, but where Byzantine Amber shines is the dramatic qualities. It's the depth, the way it's constructed. The Dark Side is flat. It doesn't change. It's an uninteresting amber. Now, even that being said, I think it's more interesting than most ambers out there. It's just not interesting enough for me to get. It's spicy. It's just flat to me. It doesn't smell. It's not that dark. That side is not that dark. It's just, it's quite boring. I wouldn't wear it. If I had it, I wouldn't wear it. So I think I've spoken about everything from Francesca Bianchi that I have, and 2 samples from something I haven't purchased yet or never. Now, I think it's time I gave you, as much as I can, a podium. The fragrances that will be very, very low on the podium doesn't mean they're bad fragrances. It just means that I don't like them as much as the ones that are obviously higher up. The lowest, or the most despised, I'm joking, but Voluptuous Oud isn't something I can wear. It's too sweet. It's too... I think even the Dark Side is more interesting than Voluptuous Oud. So no, this is a no-go for me. It's not a bad scent, it's just not something I wear. The next one, a bit higher up, would be, and definitely miles apart in terms of how interesting it is, the Code of Emotion, and I guess you saw that coming. It's not my favorite. It could have been more interesting. It's quite common. You can smell something like this just when you go into a Sephora, which is not a bad thing. A lot of good things in Sephora, but it's just not for me. Unspoken Musk, as beautiful as it is, I have to rank it quite low, but it's still, now we're into very difficult to separate, because what follows is interesting scents gradually by the minute. Unspoken Musk, as I said, it's ranked pretty low just because I don't reach for it all that often. It could have been more interesting. It's perfect the way it is as a musk scent, but it's just too simple for me. When she finally does something simple, it's not enough for me. I'm so sorry. Love for Sale, yeah, I'm working my way up. Love for Sale, as beautiful as it is, I don't know. It's also a special edition. This shouldn't be on the podium at all. You can't find it anymore, so who cares? Encounters, I think. Because I don't think, as beautiful as this iris is and as interesting as this fragrance is in general, in total, I think there's so many other good scents in her portfolio other than Encounters. Although, it's still a gorgeous scent. Let's see, this is very, very difficult because all the others I really, really like. I'm going to be very drastic. Libertine Neroli. It's not that I don't like Libertine Neroli. As I said, it's one of her most beautiful Neroli ever. It's just, I'm reminded of L'Heure Bleue, which is a very good thing, but I can just go to L'Heure Bleue, right? But it's just such a beautiful scent. It's very difficult. All of these fragrances from Libertine Neroli upwards, they're just gorgeous scents. They're just very difficult to separate. Then I think Byzantine Amber, as much as I love this scent. Unfortunately, I discovered Libertine, which works ambers a lot better than this, so it's still very beautiful. Lost in Heaven, maybe? Lost in Heaven. Again, as perfect as this fragrance is, I can't find a single negative thing to say about Lost in Heaven. It's only that there's more interesting fragrances that I love more. Then I think it's time for Under My Skin. It's still lower than others just because I can't wear it as much as I want it to, because it's so demanding. And for the same reason, I'm going to put the Lover's Tale here as well-ish. Although the Lover's Tale does deserve to be way higher up just because it's such an interesting and unique scent, the Lover's Tale. Next would be, we're getting terribly close. Next would be Sticky Fingers. Sticky Fingers is a masterpiece. I rank it low because I think I love the Angel's Dust more, which is higher up, but then again lower than others. So next would be, Angel's Dust. It's perfect. It's something I wear whenever I want to feel empowered. Next would be the Black Knight. I loved it so much. I still do. But all good things, all relationships must come to an end. It's not the end of this relationship, but I discovered things that I loved more than the Black Knight. And they are as follows. Sex and the Sea Neroli, just because it's such a gorgeous neroli scent and it's the perfect beach scent. But not as perfect as Luxe volupté, which is third best, right? So this came as third best, and this is not a surprise for me. So my podium would be this in third place, Luxe volupté. Second place, oh God, am I doing this? Am I doing this? I am doing this. Second place is Etruscan Water, because the Mariner's Rhyme, first place, just stole my heart. It is perfection. There it is, folks, my podium. I know I didn't give you any numbers because it would have been just terribly difficult for me. This was my entire Francesca Bianchi collection. I love all of them, or at least most of them. I don't regret buying either of them. They're all experiences, and I recommend wholeheartedly that you get a discovery set from her website. They're not expensive at all. Her fragrances are very decently priced. I need to remind you all that they're all X-rays. They do last you a long time, and all of them, with no exception, they're very, very interesting and very apart from most of the fragrances out there. So if you have any other questions, do let me know in the comments. And until next time, remember, fragrance creates memories, and may yours be happy.